Hello everyone, welcome to a new video. Thanks for watching. So I thought I'd talk about the filter bowl that I've been building. So here you can see a quick clip of me going to a local supermarket. You can go to any sort of hardware store and get something like this as well. You can pretty much, as long as it hasn't got any pre-drilled holes, you can use it pretty much as a filter quite easily. And if it has, you can just silicone those holes up. And if you can get something that's quite thick, all the better in terms of the thickness of the plastic. And as you can see in that video clip, you can see that there's some nice different designs you can get. Anything that's plastic will do the job. So without further ado, let me show you the filter bowl. So a bit of a recap. So we've got the bowl here with an elbow, with a bulkhead with a rubber seal, 32mm flexible pipe to the Evolution Aqua variable pump 10,000. So we've got that in the small pool here, and I'm just going to flip it over. I've put a bit of silicone on the bottom so there's a bit of grip there when we put it on top of the sleepers. And obviously a bit of silicone around there as well, just to give it a bit more of a solid reinforcement, so we've got a good seal. So flip that over. I put a load of silicone inside, just to give the water a bit of resistance in terms of add extra waterproofing there basically, and some more silicone dolloped all over the fitting as well. And obviously that's the bowl as it stands, and I've put a load of silicone on to make it waterproof. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to put in the various media just to show you how we're going to be setting this up as a filtration filter. And then it's basically a biological filter, not mechanical, although it will sort of serve as a mechanical filter to a certain degree. So what we're going to put in is some Scottish pebbles, we'll put some lava rock in there, and pea gravel on top, and some plants. So without further ado, let's get started. Right, so I'm just going to put some really large rocks against the pipe here, just to keep it in place, like so. The idea is to try and jam that pipe so it don't move, as well as keeping some voids in the stone so it can like rise up. And then I've got some black lava rock here that I'm just going to put in on top. Right, ladies and gentlemen, here's the pea gravel. I've washed it, so I'm just going to put that in. Right guys, so if you find that it's too high in terms of the height, because you're concerned that some of this pea gravel might get pushed into the pond and wash away, you can always take some of this lava rock out, like I've done here. You don't have to take too much out, just a little bit out, just to lower it a bit if you want to, and then hopefully you'll have plenty of room for your plants. So all I've got to do is put my plant in like so. As I've said, if you need to take some of your gravel, your lava rock out because it's in the way, just do so. Another one here, which I'll put in here. Again, if you feel that you can't put it in somewhere, just take the lava rock out and put your plant in, and then you can then just put your pea gravel around it to keep it in place. I've got a grass here. You can always put more pea gravel in if you want to, you know. Unfortunately, there's too much power going through it. I'm not sure how I can get that down because it's a vary pump and it's set to 30%. I can't seem to get it to go lower than that. I don't know why. Right guys, so this is my vary pump. Now I can get it to go up a little bit if I want to, but when I try and get it down to below, it just stays at 0. Right guys, another look at the bowl filter that I've created. It would appear that my Aqua Evolution pump we've got down here, 10,000 series, is too powerful, even at 1%. So, based on a lot of people who've been commented on the Facebook groups that I've been on asking some questions, is they suggested I add a T and attach a ball valve on there like so, and that will reduce the flow hopefully. On the Aqua Evolution pumps, it can be a bit confusing because even though it says 1%, it says 0.30, it flashes afterwards, and it can give you the impression that your pump is running at 30%, and I suspect that's the actual watts at 1%, which seems a lot of wattage just for 1%, but it is what it is. So without further ado, let's get this up and running and see if it stops that from overflowing. Right, I'm just going to turn the Evolution Aqua pump on. At 1%. And I think we're about there, because it's not overflowing, and that seems to be working lovely now. So we've got basically 3/4 power coming through the ball valve and 1/4 through the actual filtration. Let's see what happens when I close that down more with the actual bowl filter. As you can see, it's starting to overflow now. So let's cut that down a bit. The water level has dropped again. So 3/4 on the ball valve, 1/4 running from the filter. And that's essentially what I wanted to achieve. A small little waterfall. It's only about 2 inches wide. And those of you who've actually commented and suggested I put a ball valve on, a big thank you. It's done the trick. So how have we achieved this to stop that overflowing? So on my Veriflow pump, I actually have a bend, a rubber boot bend on there that goes on to a Hosetail for 32mm pipe. Then we've got another rubber boot on there, which is basically a T-junction, which goes through the flexi pipe here all the way to the back of it, and that's what runs this. On the T, obviously we've just put a standard solid weld ball valve. They're quite chunky, quite large. I had one lying around, I thought I'd give it a try, and there you go. That's more or less how we've managed to get that working. So hopefully this video has been quite informative, how to create your own bowl filtration unit. I just wanted to show you one of these cheap one-way valves you can get off eBay. They're about 15 quid, but I just want to show you how they're made in terms of the makeup. So I've opened one up so you can have a look. So one end it's nothing, and on the other end it's got this strange washer, and then some, if you can see that there, some strange corrugated strips of plastic that run all the way through. Hopefully you can see that, guys, in the video. Hopefully, can you see that? Anyway, so this flap, from what I can tell, is designed as the water goes through to lift up like that and lets water through, and then obviously when the pump stops running, that should close like that. But from what I can see, that design isn't very good, and it's likely to leak. The other types of no return valves that you see are like a ball that shuts off the water. It's a solid piece of plastic that does that. This seems a bit of a strange design to me, and I believe that's probably the cause of why I was getting leaks on the wetland filter box that I had previously. Because what was happening is, over time it was emptying, and I couldn't figure out, well, why? Because at that point I don't think I had any leaks, and I think that was the reason why the water was disappearing quite rapidly. Leaks tend to lose water over a long period of time. However, this, I think, was responsible for letting a lot of the water seep through and drying out the filter box too often when I turned the pump off. So I just wanted to show you this. Basically, when you buy cheap, you get cheap. It says made in China, so what can you expect? Anyway, thought I'd just show you that. Right guys, I've just put this cheap no return valve on, see if we can get that to work. Giving it a bit of a clean out as well. So let's just turn this on and see how it does. So there we go, guys, I've just put it back on. Let's just see what happens when I turn the pump off with the no return valve put on. As you can see, guys, the no return valve is holding the water at the moment, but I suspect it does sort of lose the water slowly over time on the cheap valve. But I thought I'd just show you what they're designed to do, to hold and contain the water where you need it until you need to turn the pump back on. That keeps your bacteria still alive and living, basically. So that's more or less the project. Thanks for watching. So I'm just filling up the water from the pond with a small pump I've got in there. It's always a good idea to have an additional pump. So we're just filling this up just so that we can get it full up as much as possible before we look at putting the fish in. So I'll just let that fill it up.